My wife and her therapist conspired to gaslight me into thinking I was abusive so she could secure full custody and my business assets. I discovered their plan by accident and quietly documented everything. Yesterday, she lost everything in court. Her therapist? Arrested for fraud. My phone's blown up with please, I didn't know texts. I watched her therapist eat the pie I laced with something to make a point. Not all of it, just enough for his lips to turn blue while he giggled at her joke about my tantrums. I sat across the table, smiling, nodding, taking notes like the good husband she trained me to be. He didn't die, obviously. Just reacted strongly enough to need a hospital visit. They called it a severe allergic reaction. I called it a warning. That was 2 months ago. At the time, I still hadn't told anyone what I knew. Not even my lawyer. Not even my brother, who used to say things like, "You're the lucky one." Emily's a goddess. She was. Is. That's what made it so easy. She didn't hit me. Never screamed. Never raised her voice in public. Her cruelty was sterile, rehearsed, wrapped in concern. "Are you okay?" she'd whisper after accusing me of hiding things. "You get so paranoid sometimes, it really scares me." At first, I thought I was losing my mind. She knew I'd grown up with a schizophrenic father. She weaponized it. I started documenting everything the day she changed my medication. She told me Dr. Halvorsen said I might benefit from a mood stabilizer. Funny thing, I'd never met Dr. Halvorsen. Never signed anything. She just started grinding pills into my coffee, said it was to help me sleep. The fog was real. I stopped checking the books at our business. Stopped noticing when clients disappeared. She handled the bank account. Handled payroll. Handled everything. "Rest," she said. "Let me take care of you." And I did. Until the night I found the folder on her computer labeled Emergency Strategy. Buried under layers of password protection, misnamed files, encrypted drives. She was clever. Not clever enough. Inside were outlines. Journal entries. Drafts of affidavits. A plan to prove I was emotionally abusive, mentally unstable, and unfit for custody of our daughter. She even had scripts. Things she'd say to friends. Lines like, "He threw a coffee mug near me, not at me, but I still felt threatened, and sometimes I think he forgets who he is." The therapist, Halvorsen, was part of it. He'd signed off on false treatment logs. Created a paper trail of imaginary sessions, each one painting me as erratic, hostile, unpredictable. None of which I'd attended. Because I'd never booked a single appointment. She forged my signature on everything. The worst part? There were practice videos. Of her. Crying in front of the mirror. Trying out expressions. Angles. Light. Practicing the line, "I tried everything to help him. I just want what's best for our daughter." I watched for hours. Then I put everything back exactly as it was. And started playing the role. The unwell husband. The confused father. The man slipping just slightly. Enough to fit her narrative, not enough to trigger real intervention. I began recording every conversation. Backing up every device. Filming her when she thought I was asleep. I placed a mic in her car, GPS in her bag, cloned her phone. Every night I'd whisper, "Good night, Emily," and hope she felt regret. She always smiled. 6 weeks ago, her therapist filed a motion with the court alleging I was a danger to our child. Emily pretended to be devastated. Said she didn't want this. That the system was forcing her hand. I played dumb. Let the court-ordered evaluator poke around our house. Let him interview me, watch me with our daughter, inspect my medication logs. I smiled a lot. 2 weeks later, the judge ruled in her favor. Temporarily. Gave her sole custody pending full review. I was allowed 1 supervised visit per week. Supervised by Halvorsen. That was her mistake. I emailed the judge that night. No emotion. Just a folder. Titled Exhibit Omega. Inside, hundreds of files. Screenshots. Transcripts. Audio. Video. Documents signed by Halvorsen with timestamps that contradicted his own clinic's visitor logs. Metadata from Emily's hard drive. Her passwords. Her search history. It was enough. The court froze everything. Our business accounts. Custody decisions. Her access to our daughter. The therapist was arrested that Friday. Fraud. Medical malpractice. Conspiracy. He cried in the courtroom. His wife watched from the back, arms crossed, face pale. Emily didn't cry. She didn't even blink. She smiled. Because she thought it wasn't over. She tried to frame me again, claimed I hacked her computer, stole private medical data, violated confidentiality. But the judge? He'd already read the whole thing. He called it the most disturbing premeditated custody manipulation he'd seen in 30 years. Yesterday, she lost everything. Full custody transferred to me. Business assets frozen pending division, but I retained managerial control. Emergency order for psychological evaluation, hers, not mine. She screamed. Finally. In front of the whole courtroom. Her mother fainted. Halvorsen's lawyer tried to bargain, said his client had been manipulated by a persuasive woman in emotional distress. I laughed. Today, I've received over 60 texts. From Emily. From her sister. From mutual friends. Even from Jacob, the guy she dated in college who always respected our relationship. They all say the same thing. I didn't know. But they did. They saw me vanish. Heard the rumors. Read her captions, trying my best as a single mom navigating trauma. They liked her posts. Commented things like, "You're so strong." Now they want forgiveness. Clarity. A chance to apologize. They won't get it. Because this isn't over. Not for them. Not for her. Edit 1. I still have the recordings of her talking to our daughter when I wasn't home. The ones where she says things like, "Daddy is sick and we have to be strong because Daddy is dangerous." She'd whisper it like a bedtime story. Like trauma was a game. Edit 2. Some of you are asking if I'm pressing charges. I'm not. I don't need her in jail. I need her out in the world where every door is locked, every friend has questions, and every job application leads to Google. Edit 3. Yes, I sleep fine. Better than I ever did. She used to hum while she cleaned the kitchen. Now I hum while organizing tools. Update 1. The first time she claimed to hurt herself, it was an act. I know that sounds cruel, but wait. It was 2 nights after the custody ruling. I was putting our daughter to bed when Emily called my phone from a blocked number, crying. Her voice was slurred, breathy. She told me she'd taken too many pills. Said she'd written a note. Said she didn't want our daughter to think she didn't love her, just that she couldn't survive the lies anymore. I played along. Asked questions. Where was she? What had she taken? How much? She gave a street name that didn't exist. She forgot she wasn't at her apartment anymore. I called 911 anyway. Told them it was likely a false alarm but gave them her last known address just in case. While they were en route, I logged into the camera I'd installed in her bedroom weeks ago. Hidden inside a vintage clock on the bookshelf. She was there. Alive. Sipping wine. Watching a documentary. Alone. Safe. Not even crying. I watched her practice a face in the mirror, then slouch dramatically onto the bed like she was fainting. It was rehearsed like everything else. When the paramedics arrived, she didn't even pretend to be unconscious. Just started sobbing, told them I was making her life hell. They took her in for a psych eval. Standard procedure. She was out within 24 hours. But now? It's on record. And that's what matters. Because the next time she tries, it won't be fake. And everyone will assume it is. That's what's keeping me up now, not guilt. Not fear. Anticipation. See, there's a moment in every performance when the actor forgets it's a role. When the mask gets too comfortable. Emily was always method. She believed her own lines. But now? She's alone with no audience. And the applause stopped days ago. I've stopped responding to her texts entirely. Not a single word. Just left them all on read. I let her unravel emotionally on her own. She emailed me last night. Subject, please for her. The message was 5 paragraphs of emotional sleight of hand. Said I was turning our daughter against her. Claimed she never meant for any of this to happen. Said Halvorsen twisted everything and that it was just supposed to be therapy. I forwarded it to the court-appointed guardian ad litem. Didn't respond. This morning, her sister showed up at my office. Uninvited. Banged on the front desk until my assistant threatened to call security. She handed me a letter, handwritten, shaky. It was addressed to my beautiful family. She thought Emily had done it for real this time. She hadn't. She was fine. Just hiding. What's fascinating, what's truly illuminating, is how quickly people pivot when the weapon turns on them. Her sister? The same woman who blocked me on everything 6 months ago for controlling behavior? Now she wants to meet for coffee. Says she feels used. Says she had doubts from the beginning. I told her to go home. The business has stabilized. I've clawed back enough from the wreckage to keep things running. Some clients left, but most stayed when they learned the truth. One of them, a quiet older woman who sells specialty lighting, hugged me after her last invoice and said, "You handled this with dignity." Dignity. I almost laughed in her face. There's nothing dignified about what I'm doing. It's surgical. Precise. A slow vivisection. Emily still doesn't know about the drive. The one Halvorsen's assistant gave me after the arrest. Turns out the good doctor had a bad habit of saving everything to a central Dropbox, even things he shouldn't have. Transcripts. Recordings. Session notes not just about me but about others. Including a minor. Yeah. That part is now with the state medical board. But that drive? It had one more thing. A document called Red Phase. I knew the color coding from the other strategy files Emily wrote. Green phase was early concerns. Yellow was deteriorating stability. Red? Red was post-separation. In it, she outlined methods for validating isolation, which is just a sterile way of saying how to make me look like an unhinged man who drove her to a breakdown. She included mock texts, full conversations she planned to fabricate and screenshot. Phrases like, "I'll make sure you never see her again. If I can't have her, no one will." She never sent them, but she practiced writing them in my voice. And in one draft, she forgot to delete the metadata before saving. Timestamped. Geotagged. It puts her at Halvorsen's office the same day she claimed I threatened her in our kitchen. I sent it to my lawyer with one line. Exhibit bloodletting. That's what we're calling the next phase. I'll keep it short. She's about to be disbarred from her professional field. Her license is under review. A hearing has been scheduled. And she has no idea. She thinks the worst is over. She thinks the silence means I'm done. But I'm not done. Not until she understands what it feels like to be treated like a problem no one believes. Not until she looks in the mirror and sees exactly what she tried to turn me into. Not until she's afraid to fall asleep for fear I'll be in her dreams. I don't want her gone. I want her remembered. By everyone. As the woman who cried abuse until it bit her back. Hard. Edit. Yes, I've saved every message. Every voicemail. Every deleted tweet. If she ever tries to sue, I'll counter-sue with enough force to crater her lineage. Edit 2. Our daughter's okay. She's safe. She smiles more now. I read her bedtime stories without flinching when she touches my face. That alone? Worth every minute of this war. Edit 3. Emily posted a photo of herself this afternoon captioned taking time to heal. Someone commented, "You're so strong." Update 2. She went live on Instagram last night. I watched all 37 minutes. She had soft piano music playing, her hair tied back like a mourning widow and a single candle lit behind her. Her voice was delicate, almost childlike. I just wanted to thank everyone who's reached out, she said, blinking like her tears were too shy to fall. This has been the hardest year of my life and I'm just trying to rebuild. For me. For my daughter. The comments flooded in. You're so strong. Praying for you, Queen. He'll face the consequences eventually. She turned off comments halfway through. Probably because someone had started linking court records. Someone like me. See, I've been busy. I hired a media scrubber. The kind of guy who used to do crisis control for influencers and oil executives. He's not cheap, but he's good. I gave him 3 names, Emily, Halvorsen, and the friend who liked every single one of Emily's breakup posts but mysteriously deleted her account the day the custody reversal went public. Yeah? Emily's professional bio is flagged on half a dozen credentialing sites for pending investigation. Halvorsen's name pulls up 3 different Reddit threads, none of which are flattering. And the friend? She's back under her maiden name, trying to pivot into a healing coach. I've scheduled a fake session with her next week just to see what she says about me when she thinks I'm someone else. The beauty of the internet is that memory is both permanent and editable. You just need to know which version people want, and give them the one they don't. I also mailed Emily a package. No return address. Inside, a laminated printout of her red-phased document framed like a diploma. With a sticky note. Congrats on your twisted masterpiece. That's when the voicemails started again. She's changed her tone. Gone are the hysterics. Now she's measured. Polite. Detached. This isn't helping anyone, she said in one message. We should both move on. I think it would be better for everyone if we agreed to some boundaries. She's not wrong. But boundaries don't erase damage. They just frame it. And right now I'm building a relentless gallery. Speaking of damage, Halvorsen is awaiting his court date. Waiting for trial. His wife left him, took the kids, moved in with her sister across the state. A mutual friend told me he's been trying to contact past clients, begging them not to testify. One of them reached out to me anonymously. Told me Halvorsen offered her money. She said no. She's testifying. Meanwhile, Emily's been trying to get a job. She applied at a local nonprofit that focuses on mental health outreach. Didn't list her full employment history. I did. I sent them an anonymous packet full of court transcripts, complaint filings, excerpts from the judge's written opinion. The job listing was pulled within 48 hours. But here's the part that really sticks with me. She still doesn't believe she did anything wrong. That's the sickness. Not the lies. Not the gaslighting. The belief that her narrative is the only one that counts. I used to think if she just knew the damage she caused, if she could feel what I felt, she'd collapse. But now? I think she already does. She just doesn't care. That makes her dangerous. Which is why I've been preparing the final phase. I've collected enough to ensure she never works with children, therapy, or education again. Ever. A permanent mark. I've already submitted it to the appropriate licensing boards, both state and national. Some of it will be public soon. Some of it will circulate quietly, emails sent in hushed tones between HR departments, peer review committees, board members. She'll apply. They'll Google. She'll never know why she doesn't get the call back. She'll just start to vanish. One lost opportunity at a time. That's what she did to me. That's how I'll return it. No explosions. No screaming matches. Just the sound of silence every time she tries to rebuild. Until she begins to question everything she thought was real. Edit 1. Yes, I kept a copy of the live stream. Already archived it in case she tries to rebrand later. Her voice trembled in the final moments. Edit 2. Our daughter's sleep is better now. She stopped asking if mommy is mad at me. That silence? It's not empty. It's healing. Update 3. Emily went missing for 3 days. Not missing in the literal sense, no milk carton, no cops. Just unresponsive. No texts. No posts. Her social media went dark, the group chats fell silent. Even her lawyer couldn't reach her. I knew where she was. There's a cheap motel off Highway 82 tucked behind a shuttered gas station. I sent the front desk clerk $50 to confirm the name on the reservation. She booked under an alias. Jane Doe. Classic. I let her sit there. No contact. No attention. Just the ticking echo of a silence she couldn't spin. By the time she surfaced again, she'd lost 11 pounds and her voice sounded like an empty hallway. She tried to frame it as a mental health reset. Said she was reclaiming peace. But the real reason she checked out? Someone leaked the deposition. Not me. At least, not directly. Turns out, when you submit documents to a licensing board, the clerks processing them don't always know how to keep their mouths shut. One of them shared the PDF with her ex-friend, yes, that ex-friend who forwarded it to her book club. From there, it spread like rot. Emily's 15-page testimony, edited, highlighted, annotated, now circulates in group chats, Facebook groups, private discords. People know about the fake sessions. The planted evidence. The text message templates she wrote in my voice. Her Reddit account was identified. Her karma farming. The emotional abuse survival posts she plagiarized and rewrote from other forums. All of it's public now. She tried to pull a final trick, posted a long apology letter on Medium. Claimed accountability. Said she took shortcuts in a moment of panic and lost sight of the truth. Comments were disabled. But the internet remembers. Someone archived every version of the post and started a subreddit r/the goddess of gaslight. It's half support group, half autopsy. And it's brutal. One thread dissected her court outfits down to the labels. One user posted side-by-side screenshots showing her recycling Instagram captions from other survivor influencers. A few women, ones I've never met, came forward with eerily similar stories. Turns out Emily didn't invent this with me. She refined it. I was just the test subject for her magnum opus. And now? It's turned on her. Her lease was terminated last week. Landlord cited community concerns and reputation risk. She tried to sue. The property manager's lawyer submitted the full deposition as an exhibit. Case dismissed before the first hearing. Now she's living with her aunt in a suburb 60 miles away. No car. No job. No therapist. And I'm not done. The email went out this morning. To every employer she's contacted in the last 12 months. To every therapist directory where her name still lingers. A formal complaint backed by timestamps, court documents, and transcripts. I didn't sign my name. Didn't have to. The truth is a signature now. One of her old professors commented on a thread, I always knew she was persuasive. I just didn't realize it was pathological. Her own cousin posted a TikTok titled, When you find out your favorite childhood babysitter faked a mental breakdown to ruin a marriage. It has 72,000 views and counting. People are calling it psychodrama porn. And yeah, I get it. There's a strange pleasure in watching someone implode in slow motion. Especially when you've seen the script. Especially when you remember what they did to your name, your face, your mind. But pleasure isn't the same as peace. Peace is still a horizon for me. I'm close. I can feel it. But there's one last thread. Our daughter. She's adjusting. She smiles more. Cries less. But every now and then she asks the kind of questions that take the air out of a room. Why did mommy say you were bad? Did I do something wrong when mommy went away? And worst of all, do you still love her? I never lie. So I tell her. I love you more. And let her decide what that means. Emily hasn't asked to see her in weeks. No letters. No calls. Not even a birthday card. Maybe she's scared of what she'll see in her daughter's eyes. Or maybe finally she understands she's not the main character anymore. She's just the echo. The fading shape behind the glass. Edit 1. Yes, I've seen the subreddit. No, I haven't posted. Watching her get picked apart by strangers is oddly numbing. Like observing an autopsy on someone who was already dead to you. Edit 2. The therapist board hearing is in 19 days. I won't attend. I don't need to. Her license is already gone. This is just paperwork now. Final update. She mailed me a package. No return address. No postage either, someone hand-delivered it. Dropped it in my mailbox in the dead of night. Inside, a flash drive. And a note. In her handwriting. Slanted, shaky, almost childlike. If you're going to make a shrine out of my life, you should at least finish the tour. I didn't open it right away. I told myself it was bait. A trap. Another performance. But curiosity is a parasite. You feed it once and it never stops clawing. So I watched. The flash drive held a single file, a folder named Genesis. Inside? 17 videos. Timestamped. Undated. No context. Each one showed her in different rooms, our bedroom, the basement, her car. Whispering into her phone, sometimes sobbing, sometimes laughing. The first few were harmless. Musings. Rants. The kind of things broken people film when they're spiraling and think the lens is their therapist. But then it changed. Video number 6, she's in our daughter's room. Alone. Holding a blanket I hadn't seen since before the custody battle. I wonder if he'll ever find the one I left in the vent, she says. The journal. The real one. She smiles. Video number 9, she's in the backyard digging. Something small. She buries a shoebox behind the shed and whispers for later. For leverage. Or for love. I forget which. Video number 13, she's in my office, thumbing through receipts. She pauses, holds one up to the camera and says, did you know you bought her favorite ice cream the night before you told her you were done? She cried after you left. Not because you left. Because you forgot to ask if she wanted any. Her voice cracks. She repeats, she cried. For ice cream. Not for you. But it's video number 17 that matters. The last one. It's just black screen. Her voice quiet, steady, almost cold. I didn't lie about all of it. Pause. There were things you never saw. Because you were too busy proving you weren't the villain. But maybe you were. Maybe you are. Another pause. Or maybe I made you one. Silence. Then. Either way, I win. The file ends. No credits. No postscript. Just static. I sat there for an hour afterward. Not angry. Not afraid. Just hollow. Because she wasn't wrong. She didn't destroy me. I did that. I became the man who records everything. Who files complaints like prayers. Who wages war in silence and dresses it up as justice. I used to be a person. Now I'm a symptom. I started this whole thing thinking I was saving my daughter. Protecting her from Emily's shadow. But the truth? That shadow lives in me now. And some nights when I walk past the mirror I catch myself smiling. Her smile. That tight, practiced one. All teeth. No light. That scares me more than anything she ever did. Because maybe that's the real ending here. Not the courtroom. Not the custody. Not the flash drive. But the inheritance. The rot we pass down. Not through genes. But through stories. Through fear. Through silence. I haven't told my daughter about the videos. I won't. I deleted them. Not out of mercy. Out of self-preservation. Because the next time I hear Emily's voice, it won't be in a voicemail. It'll be in my daughter's mouth. One night. One fight. One moment of fear. And I'll hear her say something like, "You're just like mommy." And I don't know what I'll do then. I don't know who I'll become. Maybe that's the last revenge. Not the collapse. Not the scandal. Not the isolation. But the seed she planted. Inside me. And inside the only person I truly care about. I won the war. But I don't know if I survived it. She's gone now. Changed her name. Left the state. No social media. No forwarding address. But sometimes at night I hear someone breathing outside the window. And for a second I hope it's her. Not because I want to see her again. But because I want to know she still exists. Because if she doesn't, then all that's left is me. And what I became. To beat her. Edit 1. I lied. I didn't delete the videos. I keep them on a password-protected drive in the safe. I tell myself it's for legal protection. But that's not the truth. The truth is I watch them. Over and over. Because part of me still misses her. And I hate the part more than I ever hated her.